How's it going, guys? It's Sam here, and this video is going to be a Meta Ads Masterclass for anybody here who is focused on lead generation ads. This is going to be a ad creatives masterclass. We're going to be going over a whole bunch of ad examples which you can come back to, you can copy, you can mimic, you can test them for yourself. So if you're struggling with ad creatives, then this video is going to be for you. So sit back, enjoy the video. All I ask is if you enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel as I produce content like this as often as I can. I try and get 2 videos out per week. Right, so let's get straight on with the video. The first thing we're going to cover is what I call like the foundation of a successful ad campaign. So before you even get into your ad creatives and the styles of ads that you want to run, it's really important that you kind of understand the concept of lead generation ads and how to make it work. And these are kind of the 5 stages I consider when it comes to running a lead gen campaign. So we've got number 1, which is meta ad. Obviously, the ad that you're running, it needs to grab attention, and the goal of this is to generate a click, what I call a click with intent. So we're not just generating pointless clicks. That would be easy. We're trying to generate click with intent. So that means we want to kind of ideally keep the viewer or user on the ad kind of for as long as we possibly can. Ultimately, the longer your ad is, and the most successful your ad is at retaining attention, the better your quality of lead is going to be. They're just simply going to be more engaged, more bought into the product, and so it allows you to position your offer really, really clearly. The second stage is the funnel. So this is what we do with the lead once they've clicked, whether that's a lead form, whether that's a landing page. That's what I consider the funnel. A lot of people might consider this whole thing the funnel process, and obviously that is true, but I'm talking specifically about the where we send that traffic. So the goal is obviously convert your click. It's to collect key and valid information, and it's also to position the next steps very, very clearly, right? We don't want to just generate lots of leads that don't know what's happening. They don't answer the phone. They're not really qualified in any way. We want, like, as I said, a lead with intent. The next thing is what I call automation stage. This is essentially what do you do with that data once it's been collected, whether you're sending them customized AI chat, through text, whether you're qualifying them that way, whether you're just using Go High Level to send automated texts. The goal here is to confirm the lead, engage the lead, trigger some sort of action. I like to anyway, so such as a response, a reply, a schedule, whatever it is, and also to reiterate your offer. And this 4th stage is speed to lead. This is where we need some form of human or at least human-like interaction with that lead as quickly as possible. And obviously the most ideal scenario is a real person engaging with that lead through either like messenger or on the phone, most likely on the phone. And the longer you leave it, the slower the chances of conversion, right? We know the statistics. The quicker the lead is called and the quicker the lead is spoken to, the more likely they are to buy the product. And obviously the final stage is the sales. The sales process needs to be dialed as meta leads aren't particularly qualified when you look at like Google ads or organic leads or SEO leads, things like that. Right? It takes more work to convert a meta lead. And the most important thing people forget is that your offer needs to be consistent from start to finish. If you're offering something on your ad and your client or yourself or whoever's following up with the leads isn't reiterating that offer, you're going to find it very, very difficult to convert those leads. So the offer needs to be consistent from start to finish. Now, what are the components of a successful ad? Now, if you follow me on YouTube for a while, you'll know that I talk about the 4 Ps formula, which I didn't come up with. I took it from a book called Scientific Advertising, but it's called the 4 Ps, and there's lots of models similar to this, and they are problem, promise, proof, and proposition in that order. We start with the problem. If there's no problem, there is no solution, right? So there's not always just one problem per product, which allows us to test multiple hooks. And a hook is something that hooks a viewer in. Usually it's problem solution orientated, okay? So for example, sometimes the problem might be dead simple. Not all services need a deep and rooted issue, right? Not all of them are that deep, right? Some of them are simple. Some people have a fence which is rotting. Some people have a roof which is leaking, right? So sometimes people have, teeth issues and they need a dentist, right? So sometimes these problems are simple. Sometimes they're more deep rooted and more complex, okay? But you need to have one. Number 2 is the promise. What is the promise that your product does, right? Usually it solves that problem in some way or some capacity, right? It's literally as simple as it sounds. Your promise needs to solve the actual problem that you've identified in the marketplace. Okay, and it needs to be clearly demonstrated through your advertising. Number 3 is proof. Where's the proof that you've done that before? Right, really, really important element. Prove that you can deliver on your promise, whether that's reviews, specific case studies, articles, awards, TV or radio appearances, Trustpilot or Google Score, things like that are really, really important. Just proving evidentially that you can deliver on your promise. And finally, proposition. Give them a reason to take action, right? Your offer doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be really discounted. You need something there. You can't just say, hey, we exist. Come find us when you're ready. You need to give them a specific proposition, ideally something that relates specifically to the problem and promise that you are offering. Okay, now let's get straight into other important elements. Hook, first 3 seconds of your video or first line of text on your ad. Really, really important. But don't worry, we're going to go through examples in this YouTube video about how to utilize hooks. Number 2 is good imagery, right? You need to have good images or good creatives. Really, really important. Again, I'm going to come up with examples and show you how you can utilize things like AI and ChatGPT to come up with those yourself as well. 3 is use of color. Color engages people. Sometimes it can be as simple as adding a red or yellow border to an ad. It can just drive a little bit more attention than otherwise would have, and that can work really, really well in your favor. So try to use color in your creatives, even if it's just with before and after images. And lastly is simplicity. Don't overdo it. Don't overcook it. Remember that the goal of the creative is to hook them in. Your ad copy and text can do a lot of the heavy lifting. So you don't want to overcomplicate your ads. If you're doing videos, you want to make sure that your video is condensed and concise and you don't waste time. Right, your video can be long, but it has to keep that viewer engaged. Same with images. You don't want to overload them with text and information. You want them to act as hooks to bait them in, right, and get them to read the rest of your ad or click your ad and find out more information. So how do we leverage AI to make good ads? Now, obviously, in this video, I'm going to give you a bunch of good examples. A lot of these examples we created utilizing AI, whether that was AI was actually responsible for creating that actual specific ad, or whether AI was responsible for the idea behind that ad. In some capacity, AI would have been used at some stage, most likely. Here's my favorite way to use ChatGPT. We give ChatGPT information, such as product information, persuasion principles, example ads, and then we provide good prompts to AI, which in essence produces good ads. So what people typically do is they ask ChatGPT to write them an ad comes back, it's pretty average, and then they determine that AI doesn't work. Well, no, think of AI as an employee. You wouldn't hire an employee and immediately get them writing ads. You would train that employee more and more so. The best thing about AI is that it can condense and analyze information very, very quickly. So if you're going to feed information into ChatGPT, what I typically like to provide it with is some form of product information, so company's website, company's reviews, things like that. Persuasion principles, if you've got like for example, techniques that you like to use, whether that's uploading a Google Doc with like persuasion techniques, things like that. If you can use tools like Poppy AI, which you've seen in other videos, I'll try and link that down below so you can check it out. You can use tools like Poppy AI to help you do that. And lastly, example ads. Feed it good ads that it can analyze, whether that's ad copy, screenshots of ads, whatever that might be. Feed it that information. It's going to help you then come back with winning ads or winning ad concepts, hooks, offers, that kind of stuff as well. Now, we've talked about the components. We've got, like our 4 Ps. And one thing that's really important is what I call implied problems. So lack of outdoor space, slow process of extension, more expensive alternatives, right? Your problem can sometimes be more so implied as opposed to directly called out, right? We're going to see examples of that later. An example of a promise could be like, we install it in 1 day. Proof could be over 50 reviews in Google. Proposition could be limited installs available. Request a free quote. And your improvements, we'll talk about that later. And we're going to go through a bunch of ad ideas and examples and show you those in action. But before we go through that, one thing I do want to say is try and find your style and then stick to it. What I typically see works well for people is when they test multiple creatives, find the styles of creators they like, and then they can rinse and repeat those styles, right? Don't copy, take ideas, implement for yourself, test for yourself, find what works for you and stick to it. Right, let's talk about my video styles. So I've got a list here of like video styles I like to use. Let's quickly go through these and then run through the examples afterwards. Number 1 is carpet bomb style video. Now you guys might have seen me talk about this before. We're going to go through examples. It's a text-based video which has the idea of like calling out the viewer and then positioning your product really, really well. Slideshow ads with text hooks. Again, we're going to go through example. Simple image sliders, sliding through different images. AI voiceover videos, utilizing tools like 11 Labs and ChatGPT to come up with voiceovers, putting that over the top of videos and images works really well. Before and after transformation videos, on-screen tips, reel video, you'll see examples in a minute. Reel style, which is taken from Instagram Reels, again, you'll see examples. Talking head or selfie videos, location call-outs, how to find us, / did you know we were here, things like this. Time lapse. AI talking head videos, image compilation videos, out-the-box thinking. I'm going to show you guys some examples of how I create these. meme style ads, video, image, split videos, animated images, GIFs. So just screenshot this if you want to. In the next video section, we're going to go through examples of this. And now we've got image ads. You've got simple images, before and after images, news style, text, hook-based images, team photos, selfies, text call-out images, grids, carousels, out the box, collection post ads. These are all just examples. Just take these down, note them down. I'm going to go through examples of those in action right now. So, number one is carpet bomb. Now, if you guys haven't seen me talk about carpet bomb videos, these are essentially where you would create a script, which is usually about 5 scenes. Each scene would have a different background, whether that's photos or imagery, and you would put that text over the top. And the goal is to have a problem call out, a promise, a proof, like examples or reviews, a proposition, offer / urgency, and you do it in that order, usually about 20 to 45 seconds. Sometimes it can be longer. Image, video based, text on the screen, relatively simple, right? And they work really well. And what we typically do with these videos that you see here is, rather than just running these as lead gen ads, we would do that, but what we'd also do is we'd retarget people that watch the video, 50% or 75% with retargeting ads. So it helps collect audiences and build up audiences as well, because if somebody watches that video halfway through or more than halfway through, most likely they are interested in that product. Here we've got hook / image compilation. This is where in something like Canva, you would create some form of headline, and then you would back it up with kind of a slideshow of images. Very, very simple, but what this does really well is it takes like a traditional kind of slider ad, but just adds a really good call out hook on top of it. Okay, works extremely well. The next one is image sliders. Again, similar to what we just did before, but now it's just a simple slideshow of images. You can create these literally directly inside of Facebook, or you can even create them, for example, in Canva or something, which is what I've done here using just a simple transition. The next one is AI voiceover videos. Now, what these do is I take the voiceovers from 11 Labs. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you this in action. So I will play this for you out loud really quickly, just so you can hear what this looks like. So we'll just play it from the beginning.
Moss and grime dulling your roof. Left unchecked, they can wreck your tiles.
You get the idea, right? So the whole concept of this is that it's we feed some
moss
form of
and
script.
grime dulling your.
We feed some form of script into 11 Labs. We export that audio, and we can create really cool little voiceover videos. So it's basically like a carpet bomb with added voice, and it works really well. Next one is like simple before and after transformation videos. Again, just videos from your client's Facebook pages can often work really well. And we just have a video of before, and then we have a video of after. Obviously, works extremely well for home services clients. You can also overlay images like this example has done here. And there you go. Very, very simple. Keeps viewers hooked. And you can even add text on it, such as like, wait for the transformation, ... Things like that work really well to keep viewers engaged. A very, very simple ad that just works really well. The next one here, the next two ones here are like kind of what I call like reel style videos. The sort of thing that you would see on TikTok, or the sort of thing that you would see on Instagram. These are actually taken from my partner's gym, and they're taken directly from Instagram, and I actually tested them as ads, and they worked really well. So one here is like a sort of a tips video, gives you like 3 tips. I think it's something called 3 cool reasons why you should lift weights, and it's got text. It gets people to watch it, pause it, read it, and it just works really well. It kind of looks more like an organic post as opposed to an ad, and I think that's typically why it works really well. And this one's more of a kind of ad style one, but it says like, let's go back. It says not confident in weight section, we've got you, and it's just a compilation of videos. It's very, very simple. Same sort of style one here. This is like actually very different. It's like dance or burpees thing that challenged in the gym. Again, if you've got a client that just does a lot of posts organically anyway, what I'm basically saying is you don't have to recreate everything from scratch. You can take a lot of that content I did well on Instagram and repurpose that as ads, and that can work really well. Time-lapse videos does what it says in the tin. Sometimes can be tricky to get hold of these, but if you're able to get a hold of them, they work really well. Okay, it keeps viewers engaged, has really high engagement rate, really high view percentage watched, and just works really well. We've got AI talking head here on the right. I'm going to show you guys more examples of this, but this is where we'd use a tool like Creatify or Arcads to create like AI versions of people talking about the product, overlay that onto clip like that in the background, like a time lapse, or like on top of a carpet bomb. But instead of a carpet bomb of a voiceover, it's actually somebody talking. And I prefer to use smaller, like zoomed out versions of them, because the lip syncing is very good, but it's not always perfect. So by zooming out, you can kind of get away with it, and often most people aren't going to realize that it's AI. Next one, we've got out of the box thinking. Now this is a little bit different. What I did was, for this one, I was coming up with ads, and instead of trying to edit everything myself, I just downloaded CapCut for desktop. And I just went to CapCut and I uploaded I just tried loads of different templates. Some of these are pretty bad. Like, this one's not great, but you kind of get the idea. This one's before and after transformation. Very, very simple, right? It's just CapCut templates where you can upload images or videos into CapCut directly, and it will give you the ads themselves. So this one's kind of silly meme style. This one's like a billboard of a helicopter pulling off a cape, excuse me, off the offer that we're running. Again, silly ideas, but can often work really well. Just good things to throw into your tests. And next we've got more like talking head styles. We've got actual real talking heads. This is where you'll record some form of selfie. You can edit it with clips. You can add like a split. You can do all sorts of things with these, but again, voice very, very kind of natural, organic. They work really well. This one starts with the voiceover at the start, you can see, and then it transitions with the voice still. It transitions into like some videos over the top of it. This one is literally done all in Canva. It's literally a split. So we've got a image on the top and we've got the video on the bottom. You can use this, for example, for like ASMR style videos. If you've got like a before and after transformation, you get the before and after transformation at the top, and at the bottom you can have a clip of like a time lapse or a clip of them painting or doing the work or whatever it is, and they can work really well. I just like those 50% splits. It also allows you to add a headline onto videos, which I think often works quite well at hooking viewers in to actually watch it, engage, and leave their details right. It works really well. Again, 50-50 split, it's a different variation. This one we've got the before and after, we've got a headline in the middle, and it's an ASMR style video on the bottom. Very, very simple, can work really well. Location callouts I really like. This one says I've walked past this gym, but I didn't realize it was here. You can do this, you could do Google Maps, you can go to Google Earth Studio, for example. I think it's called Google Earth Studio, I think it's called that, something like that. And you can create like actual kind of drone shots of the location, zoom in, show clips. Things like that work really well at calling out people who live in that local area, especially when we're doing local lead generation. We've then got like animated images / GIFs. This is done in Canva. All I did was upload the image, go to Canva, search for like snow GIF and overlay that on top, and it just gives this cool little effect. It's very simple, very easy, turning a image into a video for added kind of just literally for added effect, right? It just helps it and works really, really well. And then we've got some product demos. So this one here, like whether it's a home improvement product, whether it's a home services product, whether it's a health product, beauty product, whatever it is, videos that literally just talk about the specifics of that product, like what it does, what the outcome of the product is, kind of like almost like a unboxing style if you were doing like e-commerce, but for like an actual physical business. Like, it would come to us, this is what we do. Very, very simple. Next one is like a real UGC stuff. Now obviously you can still hire people on Fiverr that can do this work for you, like actual creating UGC style videos. The one on the right here is AI. So I'm just quickly play this one for you. I'm just going to go into this and put the volume up a little bit. I'm going to play this so you can hear the first
stuff if you're local to Twickenham or nearby. I just found out that Tim's Skin Clinic is offering microneedling for only $199 for new clients right now. I had to share because that is such a good deal.
And that is all done with AI. I actually used ArcAds for this particular one. If you guys would like more videos around UGC style videos for lead gen, then just let me know. I can come up with those. But this is all AI, and you can see it's very, very well done. Like the lip sync is almost perfect. And all I did was half the video, split it in two, and put some clips from that clinic above. It's just a sample ad that I've created, but you can see the power of that, AI when it comes to AI avatars. Now, one thing to do and be careful of is you don't want to fake customer reviews. So what I do instead is I typically kind of create the AI as a local resident in the area talking about the company. I think you've got to be really careful with pretending that they're customers, because that's potentially, I don't know, there could be legal issues with that, right? And then just a few more examples. We've got these here, which is kind of like news article style ones, but we've added a video in the background. We've added some trust underneath, works really well. These are kind of split grids, kind of like before. We've got a video on the left and before and after on the right. And then we've got just very, very simple like voiceover style videos. I haven't added subtitles in this, but this has like a voiceover in the background with 11 labs. Very, very simple. Point of the matter is there is no rules, right? As long as you follow that 4Ps formula with your ads in general, you can kind of go crazy. You can test stuff out and you can see what works for you. Okay. Lastly, tips. In the local market, you can reuse content. So don't worry about putting loads of time and attention in detail into creating a really good ad, because you can repurpose that. If you've got 20 clients or 10 clients in the same industry, one strong ad can really transform your business, because you can then apply that to lots of different companies. You can also utilize voiceover tools such as 11 Labs to create voiceovers that are editable for each client. So for example, you create the voiceover, you create the the bulk of the video ad, and then you can just change the start. So like whether they're calling out the area or when you position the client's name, you can just change that section and you can reuse the same voiceovers for multiple clients. Okay, now let's go through the image ad styles. So we've got simple images, work really well, right? We've got an image of product images, we've got team images, we've got customer images, we've got, like just cool product photos, right? They work, right? You can still at least one or two of those into the mix when I'm testing ads. We've got before, after images. Just be careful what you can do. Make sure you check Facebook policy. Like for example, I don't think this would be allowed, but like before and after for home services, generally fine. Before and after here, generally fine. Works really well. Ultimately, that's what we're doing. We're running ads, and what we're advertising is some form of transformation in most cases. So still to this day, work extremely well. We've got hook-based images. So, for example, here, roof damage, ? Repairs from $99. We've got damage in the storm, free roof inspection, right? Super simple, work really well. It's simple but effective. We've then got news style ads. We've got warning, roof missing tiles, ? Request a free inspection today. We've got a photo of missing roof tiles. Simple as the most efficient and stylish accessibility option for UK seniors. Warning, falls #1 cause of injury. These are kind of taken from like the Daily Mirror or like just news websites. You can get ideas from going to like different news articles, news websites, social accounts, and looking at some of the things that they're posting and some of the hooks they're using and where they use copy. And you can even go to like meme pages and look how they are good at holding people's attention and grabbing attention. Look at ways they're doing it. And again, if you go through the process I mentioned at the start, utilizing ChatGPT and AI properly, you could do the same thing as well with your ads. Write really good hooks and headlines. I really like team photos or customer photos. Things like this work really, really well. Whether it's a customer holding up a sign, or it's a customer outside their properties with the property being renovated, or it's a team photo and whatever it is, or this one here in a dental clinic, work really well. Super simple but super effective. Again, so some more examples here, and that is pretty much everything. Now, obviously, this is just a purely just this isn't every style of ad ever. It's just examples that you guys can copy and mimic. And these are just some of the templates taken from my community, which I'll leave a link to join the accelerator. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a comment for what you guys want me to do next, and I'll see you guys in the next video.